Right, first video. I want this to be under 6 minutes. Let's see if we can make this happen. Financial Algebra All-Stars. Hope you're having a great day. I'm ready. Cash flow and budgeting. This is the first thing we're going to talk about. Some of you have some jobs. Some of you work at a coffee spot. Some of you work as a hostess or a host at a restaurant. This is me drawing a host or hostess, someone who sits at this podium and tells you where to sit. Wonderful people, great people. They make some money. They have some money coming in. They sometimes need to budget that money to figure out what they can buy, what they can't buy. And that's where budgeting comes into play, to figure out what you can buy, maybe can't buy, or are just going to buy anyway because, I don't know, you only live once. Last time I checked, and you can't take it with you when you're gone. But budgeting helps out those, hopefully, financially responsible people that want to just make sure that they're spending their money wisely. And that's through a variety of things. Of course, income, the main income might be your full-time job, but maybe you have a little bit of a side hustle. We'll talk about this in class, but I got a nice little eBay hustle, selling things on eBay. What else could you do? As a teacher, you could also have tutoring, which is another form of income. As you eventually move forward, you'll have fixed expenses. You might not be on a family plan for your cell phone. You might be on your own. A fixed expense is one that's just going to be consistently the same over and over and over. So most likely the cell phone is going to be consistently $60, $60. If you had to get all the increments for the year, it's probably just going to be straight 60. Same thing with your rent, unless your lease changes and your landlord realizes that your property in Fishtown could be sold for a lot more, or that it's worth more than what you're paying. They might up it, but hopefully they don't keep it. They'll keep it the same way, keep it as a fixed expense. Variable expenses may vary. You know, in the summer months, I probably didn't buy many groceries, but during the school year, it's probably a consistent $200 each month. But you know, then summer may kick in and then it's like only 100 or 90. So it's considered a variable because it varies. Variables vary. In the summer months, the grocery prices may vary for you. Savings, we're always trying to save our money, maybe spend a little bit of it, but it's ideally just something that keeps accumulating your savings. Sound good so far? So we have mentioned the cash flow year-long budget project. One of the things that comes up there is cash flow analysis. This allows you to track your money, to figure out where is it going, in what month is it going out, how much is going there, who's it going to, and hopefully the questions you ask based off of this information from a cash flow analysis is, do I really need to have that much money going there? Do I really need another streaming service? Do I really want to keep driving to work? These allow you to create a realistic budget, create realistic financial goals. If you're trying to save for a house, you got to start somewhere. You need a down payment. So why not start sooner than later to figure out how much you're going to need then? This can easily help you see what your rough months are or tough months are financially. Not that I'm subjected to this or victim to this, but I know that with the NFL and with sports betting, some people might call those months tough because they put out money when the NFL teams are playing and they hope to win, but do they always win? I don't know. If you know good odds or you know good teams are out there, let me know. Maybe I'll get into this, but some people might want to budget their money based off of those months where they want to take a little bit of a risk with gambling. I know that's one. Sports betting on your phone's easier than ever. So here we go. So one awesome way that you can figure out how many times you're paying a certain place or how much, or just to figure out your year and how much you have to shell out for some things, you could create this frequency budget plan, which we'll be doing in our project. Let's take a look at this. So One thing that this person, I don't know whose account this is, but they have primary employment, so probably their full-time job. This is saying that they get paid 24 times in the year. So 24 times in the year, how many times do you think they get a paycheck? 24, right? How many times do you think they get paid per month if there's a frequency of 24? Well, probably 2 times per month. If we're talking about this primary employment. How do you think they ended up with this annual amount? So this is an income amount, 2,800. Here they're saying annual amount, 67,200. How do you think they got that? Well, they took each paycheck, all 24 of them in the year, multiplied it by 24. That's how they got that. So they're taking the income, multiplying it by the frequency, how frequent something happens in the year, 1 year, 1 calendar year, 365 days. And that's how they're claiming that their annual amount coming in is 67,200. We see that for a weekly expense, and this again fluctuates, this is considered a variable, but they're ballparking it and saying that for food, they spend $185 every week. And that means that over the year, they spend $9,620 on groceries. Cool. Maybe they save some money. Maybe they buy some day-old bread. I don't know. There are ways to save money with groceries, but it looks as if they're eating, which is important. Can't avoid it. You see some other expenses here for the month: mortgage, utilities, gas, water, electric, PICO, PGW. What else? You might have a student loan. Hopefully you don't. Hopefully you can get out of that sooner than later. But also some expenses that may vary, you know, the fun stuff, entertainment. You can't take it with you when you're gone. So maybe this is, I don't know. What's something entertainment wise that you would pay $46 for? Let me know. Because we see that it does take a decent amount of money for the whole year, something we got to pay every year. Okay. I love this slide. Assets and liabilities. One of the beginning things you'll learn about if you decide to go into accounting pretty much says that assets, it's what you own. And some people will say that assets bring in money, so that it's adding money to your account if it's an asset, whereas a liability makes you tank on money and lose money. Sometimes it's over the span of a year. I mean, some people think a house is an asset, but I don't know, if the area dips down and it's not worth as much, and maybe you don't pay taxes on it, it's kind of like a liability. I mean, you own it, but it is really giving you money. I don't know. But we see some examples of assets here. Can you think of another example of an asset, something that you own or something that has value to it, maybe that gives you more money? Can you think of one? Liabilities, on the other hand, will take away money. As we saw above, these are some examples seen here. Credit card debt being huge, mortgage balance being huge, loans, hopefully small. If you're lucky, you don't have a ton of student loans. So debt, whether you own a house or you have to pay back a school for school loans as you approach college, it's not fun to owe people money. Some people say it's one of the worst things that could happen to your finances is to owe people money. So ways you could reduce, these are some. Have lower debts with higher interest rate. You owe a little bit more money, but you don't spend as much each time that you have to pay out. So if there's a higher interest rate, it means that instead of paying back in 10 years, maybe you're saying 30 years to pay something back. Pay more than the minimum. I know that my dad would sometimes pay several increments of the mortgage when we were growing up to try and just pay off the house and be done with it. So he doesn't owe anything. That's nice. Cut daily costs. Here's a fun little thing you could do. all of September, Wawa's doing free coffee for teachers. I'll leave it at that. Create a debt snowball, list all of your debt. Yeah, sometimes it's nice to see what's taking money out of your situation. Only spending cash kind of changed after the pandemic. Why do you think cash is kind of a rare thing now, post-pandemic? Why do you think cash maybe isn't used as much? Let me know. Thank you for watching. As mentioned on the tracker list, please leave a comment or a question you have, and we'll chat about it. Thank you for watching. You're the best.